Hello, it's Miriam from Tantrum Tarotscopes here at Blind Forest Books in Sackville, New Brunswick. And today I'm doing a reading on the Saturn-Jupiter Great Conjunction happening on December 21st, 2020. So this is a world-changing aspect. It happens between the planet Jupiter, which rules the Wheel of Fortune card, and the planet Saturn, which rules the World card. So the Wheel of Fortune is the card of change. Here we see the wheel turning. Some people are enjoying it and other people are falling off. And the world is the planet of reaching, the world is the card of reaching the end of a cycle and everything locking into place to step forth into the new one. Wow. So the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction is happening at 0 degrees Aquarius. So here's the launch of the age of Aquarius that we've all been hoping for. Aquarius is the energy of sudden change, of innovation, of revolution and rebellion. And Aquarius energy is epitomized by the Star card, which is the card of hope and finding light in the darkness. And where it's happening at 0 degrees, which is actually associated with the planet Uranus, I also brought out the Fool card, which is the card of, the next step after the world, starting a totally new cycle where you release your expectations of the past, realize that you don't need much to get you through, and trusting that you're always protected by the universe. So it's interesting that I brought out the Fool card because the Great Conjunction is happening square the planet Uranus, which again is the planet of shocking change. So buckle your seatbelts. I've been saying to everyone that pretty much if you don't have much to lose, you're going to be the one that actually comes out on top of the wheel. It's going to be the larger corporations and people with more power that sort of get chucked off in some way. The Saturn-Jupiter conjunction only happens every 20 years. And the last time it happened was 9/11. And the time before that was the announcement of the AIDS crisis. And actually, this aspect tends to involve either an actual sort of assassination or an attempt on a world leader's life. So with all this energy of revolution, of societal sort of unrest, I don't know, get kind of excited to see the way that the world's going to be shaken up so that the new can come forward. But anyway, I did a reading on this energy using my Color Mage Oracle, which I keep in this lovely pouch. Creative Whack Pack, which is a good deck for sort of kicking you into gear with the changes that need to be made. The Nature Speak Oracle, and the Morgan Greer Tarot, which I found it really interesting to download this as a deck to use because it when I first got it, it identified it itself as a deck that wanted to be only used for personal use. But I used like 3 different pendulums to ask if it was sure, and it was. So there's some big messages ready to come through. Yeah, so let's get right into it with the shadow cards. So we start off strong with number 97, disease. Stress and negativity. So the shadow cards represent the energy that we've come through, bringing us up to the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction. And 97 is a 16 numerologically, the number of the Tower card. So the world has been destroyed by disease. Not only the literal global pandemic that we're in the midst of, but dis-ease as a result of stress and negativity related to the weird, muddy, murky strangeness that is pushing everything towards this massive change that is so necessary. So our next shadow card is number 13, Look to Nature. And I'm fascinated that this one came up because that gave me a sort of like almost like natural selection sort of vibe that it's just becoming too much. The environmental impacts of the way that society has been running is the main thing that I picked out of this. But it's time to become sort of busy bees. Look to the bees, save the bees, and save the world. So a big energy also driving this change is the need for increased environmental awareness, increased action towards ending the ways that we've been taxing the planet with our consumerism. And that is really ready to shift. So our next shadow card is so lovely, Apple. believe in your dreams. So stay focused on what you want for the world. If you have a meditation practice, what I've been doing at the end of mine is visualizing the entire planet with green healing light around it. Because, oh my God, we just need to return to a more sustainable way of living and being in the world. And that is coming through. And so the final shadow card is the Seven of Swords. So it's time to stop lying to ourselves and really admit what we can and can't control. So it's not time to turn your back on the decisions that need to be made. It's not time to carry conflict forward. It's time to be brutally honest with ourselves and with the people we care about in terms of being the ones driving this turning of the wheel. Yeah. So into the main part of the reading. So our first oracle card is number 77, Shay, beauty or beast. So the theme of, really deciding who you're going to be in this new world that's coming up on us fast is directly represented here. I love the brown sort of murkiness picking up on the same color as that disease card. Because it's time to realize that we're in a muddy spot. 77 is the number, is 14, which is the number of the Temperance card. So it's really time to lean into your sense of spiritual balance, of figuring out what's right and wrong in order to push through the mud and find, you and all the other lovely little people blossoming on the surface of a really long and tough cycle. So our next oracle card is Clouds, Signs and Visions. So while there's still uncertainty surrounding what's going to happen, it's time to really listen to your higher self, hold that vision for the future, and trust the signs. It's really obvious that we're reaching a huge tipping point, and you can trust that absolutely. So hold your vision for that beautiful earth shining with green healing energy, and know that even if you feel powerless, that is a big part of what's going to help affect the change. Wow. And so our final main oracle card is number 36, Solve the Right Problem. So 36 is a 9 numerologically, which is a number of healing, of being almost there, and really needing to apply what you know, again, to affect this change. So it's interesting that we have a person with a big swollen ego head, because it's time for people to start picking away and planning how we're going to overcome not only the greater egos in the wider world, but our own egos. Admit that things need to change. Admit that each of us needs to change in really important ways, specifically in shifting our minds towards the fact that we can make a difference. Wow. So the tarot cards. What will be the main theme surrounding the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction? It is the Five of Cups reversed. So this will represent an immense emotional release, a super lifting out of a place of feeling really hopeless, down in the dumps, focusing on loss, focusing on what's not working, and represent the seizing of an opportunity to ground ourselves emotionally and access this new time of being literally more meditative and of having our eyes open to the possibilities becoming available. So what will be the main challenge of the energy surrounding the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn? And it's the Page of Swords reversed. So we've been fighting this sort of fight for a long time. We're not new at this. We know exactly what needs to change. And reversed pages always, to me, indicate actually being much more in control than you feel. It's pointing back at King of Swords energy. So the challenge here will be realizing that, you do have power here, specifically mental power. So emphasis on thinking towards what you want the world to be like being absolutely key. But on your own level, the challenge will be maintaining control of your patterns of thought and action, knowing when it's time to keep your sword sheathed, but also when it's time to draw it and fight for what you believe in. So, yeah, in what way will the world change with the Saturn Jupiter conjunction? What will be revolutionized? And it's the Eight of Swords reversed, pointing right back at Seven of Swords energy. So it's going to massively be a time to admit that you are free to take action at this point. Nothing is stopping you besides your own self telling you that it can't be done. So it's really time to push through that mindset and make the decision that you are going to be part of, quite literally, the revolution. So, what is our best advice for weathering the energy surrounding the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction? And we had two cards come out here. The first one I wasn't surprised to see, and it's the Emperor. So, eyes on the fact that often the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction involves a degree of unrest surrounding who is in power, in control of the world. But also realizing, again, in a really big way that you are in control of your part to play in all of this. It's time to be a warrior. The Emperor is associated with Aries energy. Chiron and Mars are in Aries right now, really driving things forward, lighting a fire in each and every one of us to turn towards, again, the future we want to see. The Emperor is also the card of the year for 2020 because 2 and 2 add up to 4. With 2 zeros in there. So emphasis on releasing your expectations and embracing the fact that it's time for a new cycle. Absolutely. And so our other advice card, though, is the Two of Cups, which has been such a strong theme in my readings this year. It's time to shift our focus back to love, to embracing a world that is kind, compassionate, gentle, and allows everyone to feel like loving equals. It's time to meet the little people at eye level. It's interesting how the way these were laid out on my table, the Emperor is turned away from the people, but the people are turning towards each other. So yeah, it's time to look at the people around us. It's time to decide who we want to be entering this new world with and to join together as a loving world community to make this shift happen. And so, our higher self cards. What's our message of hope moving forward through the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius? And we start with number 39, spinach. Toughen your spirit. So here's the bright green, or a more like actually deep green of the heart chakra. So it's time to keep your heart open to the possibilities. That is so strongly emphasized in this reading. And yeah, tap into your like Popeye energy. Eat your spinach, get strong, but realize also that you are strong at this point. The way that this year has already battered us finds us really ready to get up every time we're knocked down. We've learned how to do that in a major way. Number 39 is a 12 numerologically, so there is an energy of waiting. So this isn't all going to happen quickly. It's not going to happen overnight, but be willing to hang in there and act on the inspiration you receive. So our next higher self card is number 38, focus on the real truth. 38 is the number 11, which is a manifestation number, the number of being at a very important gateway moment towards bringing forth what you actually want in your life. And it's also the number of the Justice card. So I like this two-faced person looking to the past and looking to the future. And yeah, applying everything that's been learned in order to do the right thing. Focus on the real truth. So our next higher self card is river and stream, flowing and evolving. And what is change energy, Uranus, Fool, Aquarius energy about, but flowing and evolving. So once the ball starts rolling, once the wheel starts turning, it will pick up the pace pretty quickly. And just look forward to that. And in the meantime, just maintain your own flow. Be open to evolving as a person. And yeah, keep loving, keep living. Keep nurturing what's important to you. And so our final higher self card is the Eight of Pentacles. So a huge emphasis too on like the little person rising through this. I feel like it's a really good time to be like an entrepreneur or like a small local business, because there's been so much emphasis on like shopping local, supporting real people, but also the way being paved for being able to actually do the work that you love to do. So one of my predictions for Uranus and Taurus, which is squaring the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, was that over the next, Uranus has been in Taurus for a bit, so maybe the next 6 or 7 years at this point, that basic income is going to become a thing, so that you can actually do what you love and feel like that's not going to like kill you or leave you in like total utter poverty. Because no, look at all these pentacles. The resources you need are coming, and that's actually something that you can super trust and hold in your sort of focus and vision for what you want to see when the clouds part after all this goes down. So the little breakdown of my reading was very illuminating. There was just the one major, the Emperor. So it's time to really lock into like magician mode in terms of getting a grip in your own life and realizing what needs to be done in terms of the larger structures at play now. There was just the Page of Swords reversed. So remember that you are actually much more in control than you feel, even where it just comes to applying your mental efforts in the right direction. There were 3 swords. So yes, there has been a lot of pain, a lot of heartbreak, but it's time to listen to that and take powerful action to make the choices that, allow us to push through the sort of battle ahead and really access the deeper healing that is going to become possible. So there were 2 Cups cards, so extra emphasis on maintaining a loving energy, an energy of kindness and compassion and love for your community. And the 1 Pentacles card. So this really will result in a total blessing surrounding being able to work on what you know is important. And so the gap numbers in the reading, there's no Wands cards. So also like right now, where it's still a couple months out, do your best to recharge your batteries, to drum up the energy that you'll need to, again, do your part in the changes that are about to happen. And yeah, the gap numbers in the reading add up to 29, which is an 11. So focus on justice, focus on manifesting the world you want to be seeing, and trust that you will be able to do the right thing when the time comes. Wow. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If so, remember to like, subscribe, comment, share. If you're interested in a private reading with me, you can check out my Etsy shop. The link will be below. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. The links will be below as well. And yeah, until next time, keep your hearts open, keep your eyes on the skies, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.